No matter where and when Liverpool and Arsenal meet, you know it is a game that is mouth-watering and mammoth all at the same time. Arsenal lead. Robertson, Gakpo! And in by Virgil van Dijk. Another one for Arsenal set-piece coach. Across goal, Luis Diaz, 2-0! It's a lovely flick, that's an Arsenal goal. Nunez, Salah, goal! Outstanding from Liverpool! Odegaard, lovely hit, and Arsenal level the game up. Slice hit! Oh yes! It is something very, very special from Dominic Szoboszlai!
Well, Liverpool yet to get going in 2026 so far. It is a 9-game unbeaten run, but back-to-back draws, the January Blues in full force. Well, tonight, Arne Slot and his side face a real test of that unbeaten run and their credentials this season. It is the league leaders against the Premier League champions, Arsenal against Liverpool from the Emirates. It is an 8 o'clock kick-off this evening. Very good evening to you. Welcome along to Matchday Live in the company of Jason McAteer and Gary Gillespie. We'll get their thoughts in just a moment. Firstly, though, at the Emirates for us this evening, Nigel Spackman and first Mark Benstead.
Good evening, Rob. Yeah, it's a miserable night here in North London. The conditions are absolutely horrible, but Liverpool can't worry about that too much. They've got enough on their plate. In front of them this evening, the league leaders, the side who are the best team in the country, 5 points clear at the top of the table, and they've only dropped points once here all season. That was against Manchester City way back in September. With all that in mind, Nigel, and given the fact Liverpool's resources are depleted, will we take a draw here tonight before kick-off?
Absolutely, I'd take a draw now. The only other thing is that the weather's so bad, can we get the game called off? But with a depleted squad, you look at the bench tonight, not strong, and Arsenal only, I think, 2 unfit players, a fantastic squad, well-balanced squad. I think they go into this game favourites, and I think if we got a point out of this tonight with our strike force missing, it'd be a great point for us.
Great, cheers, Nigel. Plenty more to come from Nigel, and team news from us on the way very shortly.
Thank you very much, chaps. Nigel Spackman, who didn't want to reveal his identity this evening, and Mark Benstead has got him holding the brolly as well. Happy New Year, Gary.
Happy New Year to you, Robert.
And to you, Jason. You welcomed me so nicely by saying I'm sick of seeing your face, so that was a good start.
Every time I sit my telly on, it was either Graham Norton or you.
Well, yeah, I'd definitely go Graham Norton over me, I think. As I mentioned in the intro, Jason, it is 9 without defeat for Liverpool, but it has been an underwhelming start to the new year.
Yeah, I think the but as well comes within the 9 games unbeaten. They're yet to have a statement win within them 9. Listen, there's been some really good bits about the 9 performances, but there has been some negative bits as well, which we need to take into account. But listen, when you look at the paper, it says 9 unbeaten, so it should give us a little bit of confidence. Dropping points, I mean, we spoke at length about it the other day for one of the games. Dropping points, Sunderland, Fulham and who's the other one? Leeds. You know, had you put them points on the board now,
Forest as well.
Yeah, had you put them points on the board, we'd be looking in a much healthier position, maybe challenging for the title. But unfortunately, we've just dropped off, and now it's paramount we finish in the top 4.
Is there anything you can take from the sequence, Gary, and that Arne Slot might argue there are parts of foundations that he's putting in during this run?
Well, I think when you were in the position that probably what we found ourselves in, 9 undefeated is probably a big bonus, to be quite honest with you. We're talking about statement wins. There's not been a statement win all season. Every game's been a struggle for Liverpool, whether we've won it or whether we haven't. And that would be like the concerning thing for me, that we haven't really blown any teams away whatsoever. Whereas if you look at like tonight's opponents, Arsenal have been very, very dominant in a number of games. I think the Premier League is more competitive maybe than what we've seen in past seasons. I think with a lot of teams from like below the top 4 to the start of the top 4 or 5, I think anybody can like take points off anybody. And we've found that to our detriment this season, that we've like been up against some real tough individual games, and we haven't come out as well as maybe what we could have done. I mean, Nigel mentioned the fact that Arsenal go into this game strong favourites for me as well, with the purely simply the personnel that we have and have missing. It's not our strongest team, and really, to be fair, we probably need our strongest team if we're going to get a result against Arsenal, and we don't have that at this moment in time, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, certainly some problems for Arne Slot to get through. Has Ugo Ekitike made it back tonight? Let's get full details of the Liverpool lineup and rejoin Mark.
Thank you, Robbie. I've let my glamorous assistant step to one side with his brolly, so I'm getting absolutely soaked just now. I hope you appreciate that. Arne Slot, short of options for tonight. His squad is depleted, so he can't do too much with his side. He does make one alteration from the last outing against Fulham. One change to his side, which sees Jeremy Frimpong come in to the starting 11 in the place of Curtis Jones. Liverpool's lineup in full then is as follows. It is Alisson Becker, of course, in goal. Back four of Conor Bradley, Ibu Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Milos Kerkez. Two sitters in midfield look to be Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister. Then in advance of them, Jeremy Frimpong off the right, presumably Florian Wirtz off the left. Dominic Szoboszlai playing centrally, and Cody Gakpo being asked to leave the line. Of course, it could be Wirtz who plays through the middle. We'll see how it develops through the course of the game. On the bench to underline how limited the manager's options are. Two goalkeepers once again in Mamashvili, Woodman, and there's Gomez, Chiesa, Jones, Robertson, Nayoni, Ramsey and Ngamoa. OK, I'll bring in Debbie McGee. I mean Nigel Spatman once again. Nigel, what about Liverpool's team? Underlined, he's kind of gone with what he has to go. There's very little he can do at the moment. No Hugo Ekitike once again.
No, very limited. No strikers, out-and-out strikers. And so, you know, players have just got to play out of position or just try and do as best they can and rotate in that midfield position and somebody try and get up and support whoever. Is it's Gakpo or it's Wirtz playing up top. Other players have got to try and make those runs at the right time. But I think also is in these conditions, really, you can't play too much tippy-tappy football in the middle of the park and get cut out, and then you'll be vulnerable to the counter-attack from Arsenal. I think players have got to be brave enough to make the runs down the side of the two centre-backs and move them around, because they're big guys who want to battle. If you run off them, then they don't like that so much, and that might be the way we can cause problems for Arsenal tonight.
I was going to say, what is the best way to deal with the threat of Arsenal when they've got so many options, so much attacking ability within their team? Now, is it to keep your shape, or is it to rotate positions, try and move them around a little bit, especially because we don't have that sort of set out-and-out forward option this evening?
Yeah, I think defensively, you know, the two centre-backs and the goalkeeper have got to play very well tonight. I think the two full-backs have got to be strong and stay in their position most of the time, and that the players, the midfield players, get forward and support whoever's playing, probably Gakpo as that number 9. But the thing is with Arsenal these days is they can play different ways, Mark, so they can play for corners, free kicks, long throws, and they're dangerous on that, and we've got to be up for the battle tonight.
Florian Wirtz has been one of the bright sparks of late, a couple of goals and assists in his last 3 Premier League outings. Does he have to try and create something tonight, given how shorn of attacking options we are?
Well, that's the problem. I think he's found it very physical, the physicality of the Premier League. He's found that very difficult, but he's starting to come into his game tonight. We could do with a performance from him, you know, running with the ball, relieving the pressure at times, playing little 1-2s, but we need an end product as well, which is goals. And he started to, you know, create things, score things, but others have got to step up as well tonight. And as I said, defensively, we've got to be strong tonight. From set plays, we need to be strong tonight. And then on the counter-attack, if we can, cause problems for Arsenal. But they're a formidable team at the moment.
If we want to be effective on the counter-attack, does Jeremy Frimpong come in there? Because of his pace, he's absolutely blistering.
Well, I think that's the one thing that I think we've lacked this season is pace in the team. And obviously he's been out injured with that hamstring. He's back in now. Hopefully he stays fit. But he gives us pace down that right-hand side or wherever he plays. But we've got to find him at the right time. Can he get in behind the left back at times? Can he get at the feet and sort of do those runs inside and play off people like Ray Houghton used to do in our team? But it's about everybody standing up tonight and being strong, being physical and being brave. And what I mean by being brave is making the runs forward, taking the ball in the right areas at times and have a few shots at goals. In these conditions, especially for Dominic in the middle of the park, take shots at the goalkeeper tonight. Things will get spilled and then we need somebody following in to knock it in the back of the net.
Frimpong important on the right-hand side. Do we need to get more of Milos Kirkos on the left as well? So many times he's making that overlapping running. He's done it 23 times this season. Only his replacement, Trufer at Bournemouth, has done it more.
Yeah.
But maybe we're not finding because Gakpo wants to come in more often than not.
Well, because he's right-footed, Gakpo looks to come inside all the time and have the shot at goal a lot of the time. So he's got to mix that up if he is playing on that side, Gakpo, to go on the outside as well as the inside and cause problems for the fullback. But the problem is for Kirkes tonight, he's playing against Saka. And Saka's now back in the team playing well. If you push too far forward, then obviously, and it goes out to Saka, who can cheat a little bit in that position. And then obviously Virgil's got a shovel across, Konate's got a shovel across, Bradley's got a shovel across, and the midfield players have got a shovel across. So it's timing that run forward for Kirkes tonight. When the gaps when the space is there, go and attack it, and then others have to fill in for him.
You've touched on the conditions a couple of times. We can see the rain around us. It's not hard to see. It is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Is it as true today as it ever was? Look, it is about getting shots, testing the goalkeeper, keeping your passes simple. Make the most of the conditions. Don't let them hinder you any more than they have to.
Absolutely, and if it needs to go forward or it needs to go in the stand, put it in the stand. Don't take a chances playing little square balls and getting cut out tonight. But if you're having a chance of a sighted goal, have a hit. You know what I mean? He's a top-class goalkeeper, Raya, as Ali is for us. But sometimes they spill it. In these conditions, it bouncing in front of the keeper. It can bounce and go over their head. So don't be frightened to have the shots tonight if we get into those areas.
Great stuff. Spackers will pause things just there. Head back to the guys in the studio. I'm away to go and find a towel. Details of the full Arsenal lineup on the way shortly. A couple of changes for them. One, Spackers has mentioned, Bukayo Saka is back in tonight, and he, of course, is a real threat.
Thank you, boys. It's lucky it's not Fulham away. They'd be washed down the Thames by the end of the night, I think, wouldn't they?
Quite got that Brolly, knows what it's for, Spackers.
Nigel knows exactly what it's for,
apart from himself.
Going nowhere near Mark Benstead.
That would be you.
Selfish, yeah. That would be me, yeah.
They made the point there, it certainly would be. They made the point there that it is not much that Arne Slot could have done with it, but a big absentee is Ugo Ekitike. You're playing against the best defence in the Premier League and you're missing your two main central strikers tonight.
Yeah, it changes the whole dynamics, really. Probably of what he wanted to do. Listen, Ekitike offers pace. He's in great form. He can come short. He can go deep. This is not going to be a game where Arsenal sit, and pack the defence, sit on the edge of the box and soak up the pressure. They're going to want to dominate possession. They will leave space, and that's where you could probably hurt them. Hence, probably why Frimpong comes in and offers that pace down the right-hand side. That could be a good little battle. On that right-hand side, if they can get the ball to him. Apart from that, Gakpo, we were just talking off camera, we're not sure whether Wirtz will play as a false nine or whether Gakpo will lead the line. I'm not too sure, with Wirtz obviously out on the left, I'm not too sure how they're going to go. We're going to have to wait and see how they line up at kick-off. But, for Liverpool, it's about the mindset, really. I think if you're going to go and sit on the edge of the box and try not to lose the game against this Arsenal team, I think that'll be a tough ask. I think they need to go at Arsenal.
Just on what Jason said there about where Wirtz might play, is there anything to be said in playing him as the false nine with Gakpo on the left, because he might bring the two centre-halves of Arsenal into areas that they don't want to be because they're not playing against a traditional striker who wants to have a fight with them?
I take your point, but I don't think they're too clever, the two centre-backs. I think what they will do, like Zubimendi, Declan Rice probably, more so Zubimendi will be the one to break all that up in the central areas. I don't think that you'll see Arsenal getting dragged out anywhere, to be quite honest with you, regardless of who plays centre forward. I think it'll be Gakpo. I think Wirtz will play off the left-hand side personally, with Frimpong down the right. The only one area that you would think that Nkapi playing at left back, he likes to play centre backs, doesn't he? Along the back four.
Yeah.
But if you can isolate him one-on-one with Frimpong, we've seen already Frimpong can he's got the beating in most full-backs at the best of times. I don't know how quick Nkapi is, to be quite honest with you, but I can't see him being anywhere near as sharp and as nippy as what Frimpong is. That is certainly an avenue that Liverpool can exploit. Liverpool will get opportunities in the game. That's one thing that for sure. But in saying that, you expect Arsenal to get their fair share of opportunities as well.
Do you think we are, and the manager is, any closer to knowing his best position?
Wirtz. I think it's a really difficult one. I think...
Oh, it's a yes or no. You become an MP all of a sudden, haven't you?
No, I think he would...
I'd get my
listen,
vote. That would be priceless.
I think he would like to play him down the middle, but he can't, and he has to accommodate him somewhere else. Hence, when I say in the middle, in behind Ekitike.
So as a 10,
Yeah.
do you think he can't because of the counter press and what Szoboszlai gives them in that position?
Yeah, and he's not up to pace with the Premier League, with the quality, with the physicality. So he loses something in the press. I think he's getting better at it, Wirtz. I think he's getting stronger. I think he's getting physically stronger, and he is getting up to speed. I think, fitness as well has caught up with him over this period. There's been a lot of football. I think he dropped off against Leeds. He was kind of non-existent, so it caught up with him. But going back to your point, I think at the minute when the manager's in this kind of position, you kind of want trust and you go for safety, and that's what Dominic Szoboszlai is offering him. So you take a big piece out of that trust element and the industry that he offers. So it's a battle at the minute. I think when Wirtz gets up to speed and everything settles down, I think that's where he'll eventually play.
Dominic Szoboszlai was a key ingredient of how we played last season, where he played that, it wasn't a number 10 role, it was like a central, it was like the point of a diamond, wasn't it, in the middle of the park. And he was like the one that really pressed and closed people down. And we gained a lot of opportunities, a lot of goal scoring opportunities purely and simply from that press. And that was missing when Wirtz played there. Wirtz was probably bought because a number of times that teams come to Anfield and play that low block against Liverpool, I think the idea was maybe to have Wirtz on the side, to try and have the ingenuity and the guile and the skill to break that down. It's not quite worked for Liverpool like that. Hence the reason why we've not probably seen the best of Florian Wirtz. He's trying to find his position.
It's true that, because the goals from open play dropped off last season, the second half of the season. First half we were okay, and I think that was a cause for concern for the manager. I think he thought, we can't be dependent on set plays. We need to be creating a bit more, and I think hence that's why Florian Wirtz was brought in.
The irony of what Gary just said there about the games that he was maybe bought for to pick his way through those low blocks is I think that we've probably sat actually after games against better opposition this season and said that's where he was good because there was a little bit more space. So Real Madrid, Atletico in the Champions League, he's probably actually been at his best against the so-called better sides.
Yeah, he has shown his quality, and you're right, probably in more games where there have been open and teams have been, maybe a bit more expansive than what, other teams like a Burnley or a Wolves or a Leeds would do when they come to Anfield. It's a good point, but tonight, depending on where he plays, I don't know where I'd like to see him tonight. I think there'll be plenty of space tonight, and I'd like to see him be at the focal point of everything good Liverpool does going forward. For me, that needs to be in the middle of the park, but he needs to do his fair share of work of trying to win the ball back. Gary's right, Szoboszlai taking him out of there is a risk. It's a horrible conundrum for the manager to be in.
Well, conundrum's a good word actually, because you would make the point that obviously Wirtz has cost a lot of money. He is seen as a part of the new way that the manager wants to play. But on the other hand, you have got, I think almost undebatably, the best player this season in Dominic Szoboszlai. So do you want to put your best player in the position where he's best, or do you want to try and shoehorn him in at right back or somewhere else on the pitch?
Well, I'm always of the opinion that, how can I say this? You don't change it if it's not broken.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I thought Szoboszlai, as I say, was a key part of how Liverpool actually won the Premier League last year. He didn't probably get the recognition that he probably deserved, but his energy and his enthusiasm, I think, goes a long way to making Liverpool the team that they actually are. And I think we missed that when he's not in that central area of the pitch. And I think, sadly, we've lacked the intensity that maybe what we've seen in past seasons. And when Liverpool lack intensity, I think that gives the opportunity for other teams to dominate them and take the initiative. Liverpool are no longer the most difficult team to play against. In fact, in some games they're pretty easy to play against, and that's got to change from in my opinion, anyway.
Well, as we saw there, Dominic Szoboszlai was the difference between the two teams when they met at Anfield right at the start of the season. So what does the Hungarian expect from the reverse fixture tonight?
Right now, they are leader of the Premier League, but I cannot tell you if they are the best or not. They are very good team, really good players, but I will never say that they are the best or other team is the best or this kind of team is the best, because I just don't say it. I'm playing in a team who is always fighting for a title as well. So I think Liverpool is the best team. It doesn't matter in what where we are going or we are not winning maybe games, but I still believe we have the best team. We have the quality in the team, and we have a badge what shows that we are able to do everything. But yeah, of course, they have an amazing team and they are unbelievable. And what they are doing it's really good. That's why they are leader of the table. But yeah, the season is long, and if they win it at the end, I'm gonna do this and clap them like they did last season.
What about his manager Arne Slot, still searching for solutions? Liverpool 13 points worse off than they were at this stage last season. As we've said, though, a decent unbeaten run is building at the moment, and whilst he hasn't got everything from the performances so far, there are some positives to take for Arne Slot.
It's 9 games unbeaten, where we've had definitely 2 draws too many, and then I'm thinking about the Leeds away game and this game in terms of the moment we conceded a goal. Yeah, where are we? I think I've said so many times the answer to that question. We're not there where we want to, but I feel we have a very talented squad, and if everyone is available and everyone is ready, then I think we can do special things. And I also think we've shown that this season with quite a lot of impressive wins, but we've also shown that we've had impressive draws or impressive losses in a negative way. I mean that. So we haven't had the consistency, but we did beat very good teams already this season. So that tells you that the talent is definitely there, but the consistency, unfortunately, hasn't been there this season.
What importance do you put on this one game against a side that is so far clear at the top of the table?
A lot of importance, because we still have a lot to play for in the Premier League, but we're also in the FA Cup, which makes sense because we haven't played there yet, and in the Champions League, and these are knockout games, and these are games where you can face teams like Arsenal. So it's also for that reason it is an important game for us to see where we are in a one-off game. To see where we are against a very, very good Arsenal. They've been for years very good, and this season probably even better than the years before.
Okay.
Anna, what do you see as Arsenal's main strengths?
Maybe it's their main strength that they have so many strengths, or the main strength that they hardly have something that is weak, so they hardly concede goals. They can score from open play, they can score from set pieces, they can very good ideas about build-up, can play a long ball. So it's a complete. They have the complete package, and that's for that reason they are, in my opinion, they deserve to be on top this season.
With that considered and how strong they're looking, what would a win there do for the belief of your group in the second half of this season and the hope that this can still be a successful campaign for you guys?
Yeah. Of course, that would mean a lot, because if you win those games, that tells you that you can compete in the latter stages of the FA Cup and the Champions League with any other team as well. I think we've shown already that we can do this, because we've beaten, for example, Arsenal at home. And I can come up with many other games that we've won against very strong teams. But we also know that it's going to be a special game for them as well. So we have to be completely ready, because they are as well. They are in a very positive vibe at the moment, and it's obvious that we aren't, especially because we've conceded again a late goal. But I think everyone, me for sure, is looking forward to this game because it's always nice to be part of a Liverpool game, but especially if you face the Real Madrids or Arsenals or City or these kind of games.
You mentioned there before that most of Liverpool's best performances this season have become against a better team, Real Madrid, Inter, Arsenal, Aston Villa. Do you find that frustrating that they aren't able to make that consistency against some of the other teams?
It is annoying because usually you think it's harder to play against the best teams in the world or in the country than to play against teams that are not competing for a league title or not involved in the Champions League. But there's definitely a reason why it is, because I think in the last 9 games I think people have liked our 2 games against Villa and Brighton more than all the other games we've played, and I can exactly tell you why that is, but if I do so, people will tell me, how can you make your opponents so much wiser? So and we have to find a way of playing that same style of football against other styles of play as well, but we haven't found that answer enough yet. But yet is an important thing to add.
It's interesting the point he makes there, Gary, about the types of games that Liverpool have been good and not so good in this year. When you were part of an all-conquering Liverpool side, did you at times find it not easier but more enjoyable? You got more out playing against better teams because a game of football broke out and there was maybe a bit more space, particularly for the attacking players, whereas there are teams who would come to Anfield then and do now and have no great ambition of trying to attack?
No. No, I never experienced. I can't recall in my time like teams coming to Anfield and just like getting everybody behind the ball and making it difficult. I think everybody came like to try and make a game of it. Hence the reason maybe that's why they got beat. I see. He's trying. I mean, like if you got a team like-minded to yourselves that you want to go and play football and win the game, then I think that makes for a far better spectacle. For me, the games that Liverpool struggle with are when like our centre-backs have too much possession of the football. Now, I don't want my centre-backs to have possession of the football. I want my central midfield players or my strikers or my wide players to have like the majority of like possession. When you've got like a team that has like the majority of like passes come from your centre-backs, then they ain't going to create goals from like a centre-back position. You've got to get the ball quickly and like sharply to your like guys that can make a difference. Now, teams will come and play really defensively against us, but that really is on the onus. The onus is on Liverpool to try and break them down. And if you've signed like 3 players worth like almost like £350 million, you would expect them to be able to like break down a low block team. But performances against like the top teams like Real Madrid, Arsenal, Aston Villa, probably like you notice it more because like the top teams themselves are playing like better than like the other teams. You know, when you've got like 60% of possession and another team have got 30 odd, and you end up drawing the game, then it's kind of mind-baffling like how you've actually done that. But the team that like only had 30% like possession have obviously done their homework, and like that's how they go up against Liverpool.
Sorry, just to touch on that, the frustrating part for me, and it may be coming into the conversation of maybe the modern day footballer, is teams do come with a low block to Anfield. It is, you could say, it's a sign of respect, you know, but they come, they try and nick it, they try and get a set piece, which is a very important part of the game now, and they might try and nick a point or even take 3 points, but predominantly they come not to lose the game, they don't come to win it. And it is down to Liverpool then to figure it out, like Gary said, with the possession you look at, the stats that we look at, really you should go, they should have won the game. Leeds, they should have won the game. The frustrating part for me is, right, you can give a team the tactics to go out and play, but on the football pitch, sometimes you have to figure it out for yourself. You can't look across to the manager and think, this is not quite working out after half an hour. What do we do? You know, you've got to take the onus and figure out in the game sometimes how to mix it up. Now that might be you smash someone, that might be you get the crowd up, that might be loads of different ways that you can change the dynamic. You can get the ball down. We talk about this slow, mundane pass from side to side, just lending the ball, getting it back. That ain't going to do anything. It's not even going to tire a team out. That is sitting on the edge of the box because they're only moving 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, side to side, might move up 10 yards, might move back 10 yards. You've got to stretch them. Gary spoke about Frimpong tonight getting isolated with the left back, right? You've got to be quick on it. You've got to go from left, you've got to go to right, and you've got to do it really quick to create the one-on-one situation. Otherwise, if you go across slow, they just move across and they double up and they stop it and it comes back again, goes back into midfield, back into the centre half, and it all comes slow. Change it up a bit, ask questions. That's what's got to happen tonight.
So what was it for you, Gary, that was key about the team, particularly in 2020, that won the title? Because they faced the same. They played against low blocks all the time. What was it about Salah, Mane, Firmino that meant that they found a route through more often than not, whereas these still very talented players, Wirtz, Isak, Ekitike, Salah, this season, it's been more difficult?
I would say we won the ball in better positions of the pitch. The one thing you can't defend against is like if you give possession away in your own half, and then you're like, and the team that you give possession away to are on you straight away, and you're not set defensively. You're not set. Your centre back might be out of position. Your full back might be out of position because you're not you're not got like your players back. You've not got your two central midfield players back supporting your two centre halves. And I think, as I said before, I think our intensity has dropped off to the fact we're not winning balls in good areas of the pitch, and we're not able to put like pressure on teams in areas of the pitch where it counts. Listen, you had like fantastic like ingenuity players like that was easy for me to say, but like Firmino, who's like he was a genius at times. Firmino, Mane had the pace, and like there was always a goal like in Mohamed Salah, who had pace as well.
You're effectively playing with a front six, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
because you've got the industry of the three midfielders.
Effectively, but what I'm saying
and that
is
was probably the peak of the two fullbacks as well, you would say.
Well, I think more so like the full-backs as opposed to like the three midfield players were more like holding midfield players like Milner, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho or Henderson. Yeah. And they gave you like the sound basis to go and like do that, and it allowed your full-backs to move like forward as well. It's a little bit transitional at this moment in time. Like, we've got new players coming in; they've not settled in like how we probably thought we were going to settle in. So it might just take a little bit of time, but I think what we need to get back is the intensity of like of winning the game, winning balls high up the pitch. But we can't just do that for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. We have to do that for a little bit more of an effort throughout the whole game.
If you're winning games, you create a mindset. That's what they had. I mean, we had an element of it to a certain extent because we were Liverpool, and you buy into that ethos of the football club, but you buy into this mindset I'm talking about is you feel undefeatable, like no one beats you, and they had it. The team of 20 had it. Maybe last season they might have had it at certain times, but when you play like that, we talk about the industry of the midfield that pushed the centre forwards up. They'd win it so high up. They condensed the pitch. They basically played in the opponent's half. So you could have everybody in that half. You would still figure it out if you win the ball on the edge of the box. You'd still create an opportunity. They created that many opportunities. In the end, inevitably, they'd score. But the back four was that high. I mean, every now and again, we got done. What was it, Villa away? We got done 7-2. 7-2. Yeah. You're going to get one of them every now and again. But it's not going to crack the mentality. It's just one of them things that happen every now and again. But they keep and they press and they press. This team are so undecided and lacking confidence. The distances are all wrong. The press is all out of sync. One man goes, the other man goes. They play through us, and in the end, they get through onto the back four. And then our back four is not on the halfway line now. Our back four is on the edge of our box, and teams are creating opportunities, but being clinical and finishing chances. That's why we're so unbalanced at the minute.
Oh, because of those issues that Liverpool go into this evening 14 points behind the leaders Arsenal. 14 wins from 15 home matches at the Emirates this season. Let's return there now and get details of their side from Mark.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, well, Arsenal have been the Premier League bridesmaids for 3 successive seasons now. It does look finally like they'll get to be the bride this time round, but Liverpool looking to try and delay those wedding plans a little bit longer if they can by picking up something here tonight. It won't be easy though. Arsenal hit top spots at the start of October and haven't looked back. They've won the last 7 Premier League home games as well. And it underlines the resources available to Mikel Arteta by the fact he made a couple of changes to the side that won at Bournemouth last time out. He brings in England international Bukayo Saka, and on the opposite side, Leandro Trossard as well, who was the Arsenal Player of the Month for December. The lineup is in full then. David Raya in goal, as usual. A back four of Julian Timber right back, William Saliba and Gabriel the centre-halves. Pedro Hincapié will play at left back. Martin Odegaard, Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice as the 3 central midfield players. And then Bukayo Saka operating off the right. He has scored in his last 3 Premier League games against Liverpool here at the Emirates. On the left, as I mentioned, Leandro Trossard comes in. He likes a goal against the Reds as well. 6 goals against us during his playing career. If there is one weak spot in the Arsenal team, it could be the man who plays to the middle. Victor Gyökeres keeps his place tonight, but he has just 1 goal in his last 9 appearances. On the bench for Arsenal, it's Kepa Arrizabalaga as the sub-goalkeeper, Ben White, Gabriel Jesus, Ebere Eze, Gabriel Martinelli, Christian Noga, Noni Madueke, Mikel Merino and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Well, now just Batman is still with me down pitch side here in North London, and yeah, the changes made to the Arsenal side do not weaken them in anything, make them stronger. Bukayo Saka has come in, arguably Arsenal's best offensive player.
Yeah, and very consistent. He can go on the inside of players and shoot himself or play off players, but also he can go on the outside on his right foot these days as well. Very, very dangerous player. But on the other side, Trossard has been a revelation this season. I mean, there was a lot of talk about him leaving Arsenal in the summer, but he's been absolutely magnificent this year as well. But I think if you look at Arsenal, the balance in the middle of the park, the competition for places throughout the team is so good at the moment. But Saka is their go-to man. When they're not quite making it happen, he makes something happen.
In terms of those 2 wide players, is the real problem in dealing with them? They're not just guys who create. They both score as well, and often score from improbable situations. They will curl one in from 25 yards, so it's very difficult to try and cope with them.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously, we all know Saka on the right-hand side, coming in mainly on his left foot, having a shot, just like Mo Salah does. Trossard on the other side, coming inside on his right foot, trying to play off people and have the shot, but he can go on the outside as well. But when they come inside, Timber goes up the outside of Saka, and Hincapié, as it is tonight, will go on the outside of Trossard if he comes. So it's very, very difficult to defend against, and very much like a hard work for the midfielders to go with the fullbacks, and that's what Arsenal do. They pin you in there, and sometimes just leave one centre back against a centre forward. They're happy to do that defensively, so that's why they squeeze you in into your own goal and push you back towards your own goal and make things very difficult for you to defend.
And also, if you're a fullback playing for Liverpool tonight and you manage to see off those 2 on the bench, the likes of Martinelli to come on, Madueke to come on, that is a real chance. If you're leggy, you're tired, and all of a sudden you've got those 2 running at you with always such pace.
Well, absolutely, and I think that's where you'll have to look at Arsenal over the last few years. You know, the signings they've made have just added to the quality here and the competition for places as well. But if you look at them defensively, I'd say they're solid defensively. Only conceded 14 goals this season. We've conceded 28, double that. And I think if you look across that back 4, they can all play as centre-backs. Timber can play as a centre-back, and Hincapié can play as a centre-back. So, you know, Gabriel is solid. Saliba is probably the Rolls-Royce player who can bring it out from the back and join in as well. But when you've got Rice in the middle of the park who drives forward, they're a formidable team at the moment, and that's why they're top of the league by a lot of points. They're already qualified in the Champions League. They're in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. They're having a fantastic season, and we want to put a spanner in the works tonight. Whoever's out there in the Liverpool shirt want to cause problems for them as best we can.
The back line, as you mentioned, is effectively 4 centre-half, kind of what City did a season or so ago. Can that be effective because it gives you that defensive solidity and effective threat at set pieces as well on top of everything else?
Absolutely. I mean, the size of them, they're all over 6 foot. You know, Gabriel's 6'5", so they're a big team. And behind them, they've got Raya, who's been in fantastic form this season, where he's made a couple of crucial saves when they've been struggling in games, and then they go on and win the game late on. So he's been in great form, but it's set plays. They are formidable and they block people off. And tonight, we've got to be very strong, block players off, and hopefully Ali can come and punch a few. Virgil can get his head on things, Kanate can get his head on things, but everybody's got to stand up and be counted tonight because you're going to be bombarded by Arsenal.
Just finally, they have got quality, they have got options, but what they've also got is drive in the centre of the park in the shape of Declan Rice. Is he one of the most important figures for this Arsenal if they are to become Premier League champions?
Yeah, I have to say that I think he's been magnificent since he's been here. He's been brilliant for England as well. I think he gets better and better. But that tweak in formation where Zubamendi's playing a little bit deeper, allowing him to get forward and join in, he's got the legs to do that, he's got the quality to do that. And beside him, Odegaard, who's now back in the team with that beautiful left foot of his, the balance in the middle of the park is very good for them. But it's really driven forward by Rice, who can finish as well, as we've seen from free kicks, from open play, and he's been their main player for me. Outstanding this season.
So yes, thank you, Nigel. OK, yeah, more to come from Nigel shortly. Apologies, gentlemen. I just realised we spent about 5 or 6 minutes just telling you how good Arsenal are. We'll let you delve and try and find the weaknesses in that Arsenal side.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Liverpool are out to warm up at the Emirates. Big challenge for the champions tonight against an Arsenal side. Unbeaten, as we said, in that part of North London this season. It is also the Premier League fixture with the second most goals, 199 in this fixture over the years. The next one will be Jason's nodding along because he's read the stat pack as well with a look of.
I've got one of them.
Oh, you got one of them, have you? Was it good?
It was the Robbie Fowler penalty miss, and I was there to tuck it away.
Tuck it away, of course.
First Premier League goal, Highbury. Thank you very much.
First of
3.
3.
Yeah. Oh, well, career goals or that night?
No, career.
Oh, Premier League? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll look it up. We'll look it up for post-match.
It's not many.
Mark asked Gary for us to pick through the weaknesses, but instead I think we'll start with one of the strengths, which is the defence. The last 4 seasons, you would say Arsenal have been in and around the title race. Of those 4 seasons at this stage, fewest conceded, the most clean sheets, the lowest XG against, the lowest XG difference as well. How impressed with you have you been with them as a back four and goalkeeper?
Well, I mean, you just need to look at the stats, don't you? Like you've reeled them off. I think Arteta made a conscious effort to be defensively minded. I think I vaguely remember him in an interview saying more often than not. I think it's only the last 2 seasons in the Premier League that normally in the Premier League it's the best team that have the best defensive record that wins it. It's been turned around a little bit from a couple of seasons, obviously with Manchester City and Liverpool scoring as many goals. But more often than not, if you build your team around a solid defence, which he obviously has, then you won't be far away from winning the title. I think when you look at the balance that they've got there, we mentioned before, he's not adverse to putting 4 centre-backs across the back 4, whether it be at right full-back or whether it be at left full-back as well, as we see in Cappy this evening. Big, strong, powerful lad, but can all play. They all can play. The one thing you've got to have as well, you have to have physical aggression, but in saying that, they're able to play as well. And they're all good footballers. The big key thing as well is they're all a danger at set plays. And Arsenal over the last couple of seasons certainly have been a massive danger and a massive threat at set plays, and again tonight I think that will be the case against the Liverpool side that I just found out that stat tonight that they have the worst defensive record against set plays this season. I
mean, you talked about defensively how good they are, but he has constructed a fantastic team right across the board. I mean, he leaves no stone unturned, Mikel Arteta, does he? I think from an offensive point of view, he's had 15 goal scorers this season. OK, Gyökeres, who came in to address the centre-forward situation last season where Moreno's not really a centre-forward. Havertz, the jury's out, although he did chip in towards the back end of last season with some important goals, but Jesus has injury problems as well. So he's been brought in. He's kind of flattered to deceive. He's not really hit the ground running, Gyökeres, but he's still a presence, isn't he? He still offers something. He's a big physical presence. He's a focal point, so it kind of changes the dynamics a little bit for them. But everything about this Arsenal squad that he's put together is ready to win, and they're showing credentials of title winners this season. They've come from behind twice. They're showing. The only question mark about them is the mindset. You know, can they get away from City? Listen, City are doing the best to open the gap, aren't they, by these draws that they're having? but they just haven't got over the line because of 14 draws last season where they should have won games. That's the mindset. Can they go on and win them games against Everton and Fulham? I think they're addressing these problems this season. I think the real title contenders.
I think Rob, I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Zubimendi as well, who's come in at the beginning of the season. And, like, he was always kind of looking for that. Like, he had Partey there, didn't he, last season? Like, which I thought he was a good player, but like I think Zubimendi's maybe taken that up another level. That he has a little bit more about him, maybe like when he's in possession. And then obviously with Declan Rice, I mean, like Sparker's just hit it on the head. I mean, probably the best midfield player in the country at this moment in time.
Talking of best in their position, would it be fair to say it's a meeting of the two best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and who is number one at the moment, would you say?
I don't look past Alisson. Listen, he's being worked a little bit more than you should. Your keeper really should be out of sight, shouldn't he? But he's done his fair share of work this season, Alisson. But yeah,
you've got to throw Martinez in there as well, at Villa. I think the saves that he makes, I think you've got to throw him in as well. I would put him above Raya, to be quite honest with you. But
yeah, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Listen, that goes on to my point. You know, Raya, you just look at the defensive record and the amount of opportunities they give teams. What is it? They've only, at home, I think they've only conceded 5 goals. So what he does well, but he doesn't have a lot to do. So in that respect, I'd say Alisson is still number one for me.
What about at the other end of the pitch then, Gary, from one former Coventry great to another? Have you been convinced by Victor Gyökeres so far?
No, I think he's had his trials and tribulations, like a lot of, like, you know, I mean, we've experienced it at Liverpool with like Alexander-Arnold and certainly the new players that have come in. I think it's never easy to come like from a relatively unknown kind of league to come and like